So today I take you to Złoty Stok, which is a small town. Town. It has Poland's largest gold mine, and it's actually got a lot of gold in there if you're interested in exploring. So we're going to walk around the city, we're going to show you the gold, and we're going to take you underground, and we're going to show you a house of horrors. So hope you enjoy. Please stay tuned. Dzień dobry and welcome to A Brit in Poland. With this channel, I travel across the country, I bring you the culture, and I show you just how amazing Poland is. So I invite you on my journey. If you want to see more, I have Facebook and Instagram profiles, which you will find links to in the description below. And if you want to really help out, you can turn to my Patreon or Patronite accounts, again in the description. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Do zobaczenia. So Złoty Stok is in Lower Silesia, so the southwest of Poland. We got there by going via Kłodzko, which will probably be the next video I release, and we took a local bus to get here. And this is a bit of a route to show you where we went to. We tried to explore it quite significantly. So it has a bit of a long history. I'll try and give you some highlights. So the mining and purification of gold is confirmed by documents from 1241. In 1273, Henry IV Probus allowed Cistercians from Kamieniec to conduct mining works here. And it was actually given city rights back in 1334, so it does date back quite a while. In 1344, the settlement received the status of a mining town, which had numerous privileges, and in the following years the town belonged to the Silesian Piasts and was part of the Duchy of Ziembice. In 1358 it was bought by Bolko II, Duke of Świdnica, and after the death of Agnes of Habsburg, the wife of Bolko II in 1392, together with the Duchy of Świdniczo-Jawor, a lot of stuff. It was basically merged with the Czech crown as the dowry of Bolko II's niece. And the mines were expanded, and from 1479, construction of drainage tunnels began. The beginning of the 16th century also saw the peak development of gold mining and metallurgy, as well as the city itself. In 1529, there were 145 active mines and a dozen or so small smelters in Złoty Stok, and by 20 years later, the number of mines increased to 190. The amount of ore extracted back then exceeded 30,000 tons, and the annual gold production reached 60 kilograms, which gave an average of about 8% of gold production in the whole of Europe. In 1565, 59 miners died in the Golden Donkey shaft. Shortly after, arsenic began to be developed at the mine, with Wilhelm Rosenberg buying the city and the mines in 1582. The events of the 30 Years' War devastated the city. There were various plagues, fires, etc. In 1742, the town, together with the whole of Lower Silesia, came under Prussian rule. And in 1900, the city gained a local railway connection with Kamieniec Zampkowic. So, it's quite a small place to walk around in terms of a town. You just saw a little statue there, which does play some sound effects, and there are a couple of those dotted around. This is one of the older churches, which, let me just get the name, sorry. It's the Church of the Holy Trinity, which dates back to 1583, and it has this mausoleum from the Gutler family, who built that in the 19th century. So as you can imagine, there are a few family members there. So you do have a few sites to see, a couple of churches. Some of it was kind of under renovation when we were there. But it was quite
just a nice place. And one thing I liked is the various kind of plaques around the city with historical information were actually in English. Because I think one thing that this place prides itself on now is being a kind of a tourist town. So we actually got to the mine, and it was a lot of fun. You know, like, it was one of those times where you get to be a kind of a big kid, and you can see that they're really minting the whole gold angle, which is natural. It's a gold mine, so naturally they should do that. This is a bit of a layout of the various things you can see in the mining area, because there's more than one kind of tunnel you can go through, and there's a couple of museums and a big outdoor kind of ethnographic park to show you how a lot of the equipment functioned back then. So it really does cover a lot. So mining dated back to like 1273. It was basically just a gold mine at the start. As we know, though, this is the golden coffee you can buy with gold flakes, which was very tasty. A little bit more expensive, but not too bad. The mine itself carried on until 1962, when the pumps were turned off. Effectively, it became unprofitable to continue extracting the gold here, which is fair enough. So it's very close to the Czech Republic, and as the history shows, it was owned by the Czech Republic for a time. Like most of Poland, parts of the land certainly changed hands with neighbours quite a lot. There is a marginal Sudetic fault in the area, so that's how the Sudetes were finally uplifted in tertiary times, and intersects a deep fault zone which runs from Wrocław southwards onto the Czech Republic and Austria. The area belongs to the Lądek-Śnieżnik metamorphic unit, involving such Precambrian and Paleozoic rocks as mica schists, gneisses, amphiboles, marble and serpentines. Here's some of the gold. They told us that this gold was real, and I was surprised because the security... I don't know. I think if we had been really motivated, we could have overpowered them and taken that gold. So I'm a little bit suspicious about how real that is. So yeah, this is like a record of the amount of tonnage that was taken over the years. And here we were given a bit of a history lesson about arsenic, including how the rich princes would take like a daily dose of arsenic to make themselves kind of immune to this poison, which was used to assassinate many an important person. So the underground and tourist routes and the Museum of Mining and Metallurgy in Złoty Stok was officially opened in 1996. And currently, the underground tourist route to the gold mine represents only a very small part of underground corridors and allows visitors to access 2 adits and 1 shaft. One of the adits is over 2 kilometers long, the Gertruda adit, and its 500-meter long boat section. Section is fully lit and safe. Small groups with individual electric lamps and using a boat. We missed the boat tour when we were there, sadly, but we saw plenty of the rest of the mine, so kind of made up for it. So there's another like 200-meter long black adit upper. 23 meters of stairway. Visitors enter a medieval corridor that leads to an underground 8 meters high waterfall, and the waterfall was pretty cool. It was a little tricky to get good footage, but you'll see it in a minute. An underground waterfall. What more could you want? This was kind of a break between like the first shaft and I think the first adit that we went to. Yeah, this was the entrance to the second area now, and it was a lot of fun actually. We had a really nice guide who was very helpful. You know, he was able to do everything in English for us. I think Or did we have Paulina translating? No, I think he was doing stuff in English, because I remember so much of it. And yeah, this was the kind of some steps that were going down. We saw the little golden gnome tucked away there. And this is the underground waterfall, which I thought was great. Everyone used this as a great photo opportunity. And yeah, actually I'm very soon going to be seeing some more waterfalls in Szklarska Poręba, which I can't wait. Just a few hours to go before we start that trip. And there was a fair amount of walking, I have to say. Like, you were certainly getting your money's worth exploring this place. I don't even think it was that expensive. I think you paid maybe something like 60, 80 zloty for the whole thing. So that wasn't just these mines, but it was also like the museum and the ethnographic part that we're going to get to very shortly. So it was very good value for money. We got kind of lucky with the weather, even though we were there in like February, and naturally it was quite cold. We didn't have any rain. You can see there's snow dotted around. But you really do get this kind of geological feel to the place naturally. This is the museum. So in here, you got to learn a little bit more about the miners. You saw plenty of examples of the tools they were using, some of the stuff that they owned. You can see that there's a strong religious connection here, like a lot of Poland. And of course the miners were no exception to that. Having God look after you when you're in the mines is quite a handy ally. These dolls were a little bit creepy, but this, we all took a drink from this. I think it's like a natural spring, and this is the final adit that we went down. This one was a bit tighter. We had to wear hard hats in here, but it was quite cool. Like it has that very much more kind of rugged, natural feel than the kind of nicely tidied up tourist entrances that you see. So it was quite tight in places. We had to be very careful. As you can see, we're all wearing our helmets. Had another guide who was being very helpful, and I think she was doing everything in English as well. I think she did it in English and Polish because there was like a mixed group in there. And yeah, as you can see, it got fairly narrow. I mean, not insanely claustrophobic, but if you're of a slightly bigger persuasion, you might find it a bit more challenging, but possible. As you can see, there's a little shrine there. And finally, we ended up at the actual ethnographic part. And this was kind of fun. It was a bit more kiddie, I have to say, but it was a good laugh. We had a nice little walk around. We were waiting a little bit for the tour to start, but, only a few minutes really. And it was very interactive. So here you can see some of our team getting the water wheel to work after a bit of coaxing. We did think we'd have to get a whip out to get them moving, but eventually they figured it out on their own. Here people are running the wheel thing to help move the carts of gold up and down the hill. Here's a bit of an exercise of panning for gold, which is always fun. I remember doing that in Legoland Windsor once. I'm pretty sure it wasn't real gold, but never mind, I got a medal. And this was this really cool, like, underground kind of house of horrors. It starts off as some mythical fairy fantasy land where it's probably exploiting some of the local mythology. And it looks kind of cool, but it soon descends into a kind of fun house. Yeah, I think a number of people struggled walking down this kind of rotating corridor. They wonder what these optical effects can do. And this is where it descends into like proper house of horror. So things dangling from the ceilings, creepy skeletons everywhere, weird witches, and all of the generic horror elements you'd expect. It was so cheesy, but it was kind of funny at the same time. So you were kind of enjoying that. I mean, these masks were creepy. Yeah, I don't think I had nightmares after this, but this guy, he's coming to get you. And then there was a little bit of let's say, a torture exhibition at the very end. So it was quite a crazy day. We were really glad that we visited this site, and I highly recommend it to anyone. But anyway, thank you for watching.